Welcome everyone to Sharing Soulful Stories. Today I'm here with Vanessa Codorniu. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hey, hi Joe, how are you? Hi everyone.
I am so excited to have you here. Let me tell everyone a bit more about you. Vanessa has more than 10,000 psychic intuitive sessions and hundreds of students, both in the US and Latin America. She is an acclaimed psychic intuitive, clinical hypnotherapist, and international intuition trainer. She is the founder of Intuitive Leverage, an 8-week intuition boot camp that gives structure to the invisible so you can make your sensitivity your greatest advantage in life and business. This Argentine-American started doing readings at 16, became a professional intuitive at 22, and now guides creatives, intuitives, healers, and entrepreneurs to break through fears and connect to the practical power of their intuition so they can serve the world powerfully. Her training video, Leveraging Your Intuition in Life and Business, has been hosted by theos Academy, and she is also an empowerment facilitator for future young women leaders at the Bella Abzug Young Women's Institute. I'm hoping I'm getting these pronunciations right. Yeah. She is an Akashic Records consultant and trainer with the Soul Journeys method and an integrative wellness and health coach certified through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, a writer for The Examiner, Wild Woman Rising, and her blog, The Daily Oracle. Wow, I am so excited to get into this conversation with you, Vanessa. And I'm going to kick off with the same question that I've asked everybody on these interviews, and that is, what does spirituality mean to you?
Ooh, spirituality means to me this continuous flow of energy of connection that really goes beyond name, beyond culture, beyond country. It is something that just flows through us, mind, body, and spirit. It's this energy that brings us back, calls us back, beckons us back to who we truly are. And that goes, beyond what the eye can see. So to me, it's this energy that's calling me deeper. I'm even getting chills as I talk about it. It calls me deeper to return to myself. And myself is most possibly, and what I mean by self, for every person, their own selves, which is beyond what you've been told that you are, which is beyond what you think you may be. It is a calling back to a home that is beyond time and space and even words sometimes, but it's this knowingness. And so spirituality is hearing that call. And we all hear it differently. And for some of us, it could be associated to a place. Israel for many, it could be associated to, or Avalon, or Crete, or Africa. It could be a place, it could be people, it could be a language, it could be a way we dance. But it is something that just goes beyond all that. And we can access it through these other forms, through these pathways. Religion, spiritual practice, creativity, art, healing, connection, all those ways, yeah.
Beautiful. I love that explanation. And I just want to check with you, actually. Somebody has just started some sort of gardening work outside. Is that loud for you?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Just otherwise I'll shut the windows and try and block it out a little bit. Amazing. Okay. My next question for you, given that gorgeous explanation of spirituality as a sort of energy that moves through us all, has spirituality always been part of your life, or was there something that triggered a bit of an awakening to this concept?
So spirituality has always been a part of my life, and then there were always many awakenings, right? And returnings. It's almost like we were on this spiral, returning to that same space, yet looking at it from a different place. And so with a deeper, maybe different knowing. I feel like I was very blessed to be part of a Latin American family, mostly Catholic upbringing, but we always believed in spirit. We believed in our personal relationship with God beyond a religion. So maybe we did also go to church and maybe we followed some certain beliefs. But spirituality to us was more than that. And it was a personal relationship. And I felt like from my grandmothers on both sides, and one of my grandmothers is indigenous from Argentina. The other one is European through Spain and France and Ireland. And so there were so many different, spiritual practices coming in. I was just blessed that I heard conversations about, I had a dream yesterday. Great grandma spoke to us. So there was very much an understanding that death, like death wasn't the end. And yes, it was very sad when people left, but they still communicated with us. And there was also an understanding that nature was alive and that we were in relationship to nature, to, to animals, to people. And so there was just this understanding. I would say, though, too, that there were many awakenings. And some of my earliest ones, I have to say, going back, I had so many different experiences at 5, 6, and 7. I just wanted to share one that I haven't written about. And, we have a lot of mediumship in my family. And so we communicate with the other side. And I would always, at 5 or 6, like many children do, say to my mom, well, I don't like this man with the blue shirt and the gray car. And she would say, well, who is that? You're in the house. And then we'd go outside 15 minutes later and a man would like pull up screaming and he had a blue shirt and a gray car. So from a young age, I was like, wow, sometimes I think things or I feel things before they happen. It was a particular time when my mom was about to give birth to my brother. And just to give an example of how the spirituality worked for us or how it flowed through us, where I had a dream that my brother had something going on with him health-wise. So I was, 10, 11 years old. And in this dream, I saw myself going to my mother and going, Mom, how long does he have? How long does he have? Right? This is before he was born. And my mom had the same dream where instead of me saying, how long does he have? I'd say, how long do you have? So my mom knew there was something wrong, something was going on, but she didn't know if it was her or my brother. When my brother was born, he was born with a single ventricle and had to have open heart surgery. He survived, he's still alive today. But throughout our whole lives with him, he's had open heart surgeries. We think he's going to die. It's like this whole, and he has a child, he has a family, he's happy. But it was before he was born. And so this communication, this knowing, and she got the worry of the feeling of like me worried about her, and I got, well, there's something wrong with him. And together we could communicate about this. And so that was just one little awakening. And then there were so many others, And I think at the heart of it is paying attention and then being lucky enough to have someone to be able to discuss it with. Often we don't, or we're, somebody closes us down. Not to hurt us, right? But maybe they're afraid of it themselves, of this power.
I love that you shared that for all of those people that have had those experiences and didn't have someone safe to share it with, or someone that looked at them like they were totally crazy and they put it back in a box. And, maybe there are people out there they can connect with that they can play with that idea with a bit more and see what else is there. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what a blessing to have had just that understanding of being in relationship with nature and with each other and from such a young age. So fabulous. Thank you. Now I wonder if you share a little bit more about your story, the other awakening moments or any highs and lows that stand out for you from just the rest of it. What feels good to share?
Thank you. And, sometimes students come to me, people come to me, and they sometimes put themselves down, right? They say, well, I'm spiritual, but it's like I'm not a good enough spiritual person, or I'm intuitive, but I don't pay attention. And I'm like, it's okay. We have so much pressure from the outside world. Throughout generations, we, especially as women, have been separated, oppressed either from our bodies, from our spirit, from our soul. We know that traditionally all of the Judeo-Christian religions, now it's changing a little bit, they didn't allow or haven't allowed women to be spiritual leaders. And that's one of the reasons, right, that I'm an urban priestess and I lived in a city and I studied priestesshood. I felt that it was really important for me to claim that for myself and for other women, for us to sit in circle. So for any of you who are out there, we are in cycles, we're in phases. another thing that really, and so even as a psychic, let's say or in a spiritual person, there have been times where I've doubted myself. So I want to share a couple of different moments where my spirituality really came forward. And I did share on, on my website, you see the story of the fibroids, right? And so I wound up, so I really believe in listening to our intuition, and that's part of the work that I do now because I've suffered it myself, right? When I didn't listen. I've been attacked in my own home when my intuition said, Vanessa, don't let that man up. And faced with my own societal training that was like, well, I don't want him to think I'm weird if I don't let him come upstairs to get a jacket in my house. My intuition's like, just get the jacket, go downstairs and give it to him. And I thought it was weird, so I let him come back up and I was attacked. And so there are all these things that stand in the way sometimes from our own spirituality, from our own intuition. What will other people think? What will he say about me? Will I look crazy? Will I look weird? So that was one of them. When I lost a job in 2009, I always had a full-time business or calling or service, but I always had a full-time as well, like communications business work that I did. And I remember I lost my job, something opened, and I walked into this job interview, and something was like, girl, do not take this job. It was like, do not take this job. And I was like arguing with my own intuition. I'm like, but Vanessa, I was like, I need it. There are bills, there are things to take. I was like, it's 2009. It's very difficult in New York right now. There's a whole slump financially going on. So I argued myself into this job. During this job, I do not lie, I grew tumors. I grew tumors in my uterus that did not exist. Like when I walked into the job, I did not have them. Interestingly, they all grew in 9 months, like a pregnancy, right? And one of the things I used to say was, it was almost like, and I feel there's such a connection with not listening to ourselves sometimes, or suffering something. I felt like this extra suffering, because it was a horrible job. This energy was going into this room, which should have been the baby room, right? The uterus, or the creativity room. And it was almost like the collector of the debris, the collector of the pain. I think that happens to so many women. And at that time, so many doctors are telling me, you need a hysterectomy, you need this. They were really scaring me. They're like, you're 70% fibroid from hip to hip. We've got to just take your uterus out. And something inside me kept saying, no, 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 no. And I trusted myself. And at that point, I went through 11 doctors until finally I walked into one doctor, and she looked at me and she said, I've got you. And I just started crying. And I had surgery with this doctor, this woman in New York. And I woke up from the surgery and I smiled at her. I thanked her. And she said, aren't you going to ask me if you still have your uterus? And I'm like, I already know. I knew. And it was a long surgery. There were 20 tumors. And so it was really important for me, and so many of us don't listen. And that was one awakening where it was like, listen, even in health, if you listen to your inner self, there's something flowing through you. And moving forward, the surgery happened in 2012, right? I took a long time through 11 doctors to find it. So it was like a couple of years before I had the surgery from when I found out I had the tumors. And everybody was trying to scare me. They're going to erupt. You're going to have bad health, But inside me, I was like, I am fine. I will find the right person. This person, I will know them. And it happened. So in 2012, it was also another awakening. This was huge. At this point, I'd been a professional healer, hypnotherapist, psychic, teacher for so long, yet I was holding back, right? I was still holding on to my day job. I was still afraid of, well, what will they think? And I know that and also afraid of charging for the work the way I needed to, right? Because there's such a history, spiritually speaking, throughout cultures where it's like, if you're really a good person, you give it away, which I did already. And it gets to a point, it's like, I truly feel we've incarnated to also reclaim our abundance, right? So there I was in 2012. I was laid off the day before surgery. I had surgery. And then I had a breakup with somebody that I thought was my soulmate. Like, I felt so called. I thought, right. And that was like, my life was just, I'm like, so what happened to me was like, I'm a good person. Like, I've been doing circles with women for 15 years for free. Like, I am introspective. I'm in therapy. I make offerings to the ancestors. I've done trainings. I work on myself. I try to be honest. And so all these things came crashing, and my inner self was like, you're not being punished. You're not being, right? Sometimes when bad things happen, we're like, wait, how many lessons can there be? And so everything I felt was taken from me in 2012. My financial, stability, my health. Turned out I had MRSA after the surgery, and MRSA is an infection that doesn't respond to regular antibiotics. And they didn't know about it. They lost the report where it said I had MRSA, so I had it for 3 months in my body. So, and then I had the breakup. So I'm sitting here, I've got no money, I've got no love. My health is faltering. And it's December 21st, 2012. And that was the end of the Mayan calendar, where people were writing me on my blog going, is the world ending? And I'm going, no, no, no. We're just shifting, we're transforming. But on that day, I got into a car. And this is the single most event that shifted me so much, because I got into this car with my mom, and she said, I have a bad feeling about the car. And I said, so do I. And it was a family trip to Georgia from Miami. And we were in 3 different cars. My mom and my dad and I were in one car. And she got in and she goes, you know what, I'll pray. And I said, I'm going to do Reiki symbols around the car. We'll be okay. And then something said, Vanessa, go back in and get that Durga medal that the goddess Durga, who has 16 arms. Go get that medal that one of your students blessed for you at the Indian temple. So I ran back in, got it, put it on. I'd never worn it. And as we're driving at 6:30 in the morning, I'm laying back with my leg in between my parents' seats in the front, splayed out. And I hear very clearly, Vanessa, sit up so you don't break your back. So I sat up. Vanessa, take off this big bracelet so you don't hurt your wrist. I took it off. And I'm half asleep. Vanessa, make sure your parents have their seatbelts on. My mom did not. She put it on. Then I closed my eyes and I said to my guys, well, can you let me sleep now? Because, nobody was telling me that it was for any particular reason. It was just do this, do this. Within minutes, we're careening towards a truck. We lose control. The tire exploded. However, we're careening. My father's lost control. And I'm holding on to the chair and, like this, because I don't have a seatbelt on. I'm holding on and I'm going, oh my God, like we're dying because we're headed to the truck. And I hear my mom screaming, and I just start talking to my higher self, to God, to my angels. And I'm like, I can't go yet. I never went full time. I know I can't go yet. I have to help more people. I can't go yet. I haven't finished my book. I can't go yet. I haven't finished my mission of really embracing my calling fully. Like I've been doing it, but kind of on the side, I was like, don't I get my chance? Like it was this whole, and I kept hearing, Vanessa, everything's okay. Vanessa, we've got you. Everything's okay. Everything is okay. Everything's okay. Suddenly my father was able to move the wheel, and we rolled off the road and we went around 3 times. And I was going around and the glass was breaking, shattering. I started to ask for them to pull me out of the body. I'm like, I don't want to hear the bones crack. Just take me out so I don't have to when I die. So I thought I was dying. I was like, just take me out. Can I hang out with my family and help them after? Can I give them messages? They keep saying, Vanessa, you're living. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We landed upside down, my parents hanging from the ceiling, and I'm sitting there in shock, like, am I alive? Why aren't I not bleeding? There's no glass. I'm okay. And then I heard my brother screaming and my family, because they were in other cars. And I answered, I had a voice. I was like, we're fine. And my parents, I helped them unhook. They landed. And in the front of that car, I heard, we've got you. Do not go back to corporate. Do the work that you're supposed to do. And for me, it was like this intense culmination of having everything stripped. And now we're going to take you to the edge of life, and you're going to survive because you're listening to us and we're working together and you're not alone. And so I never went back. My mom had several broken ribs, but I hugged her really close because if she had not put on a seatbelt, she wouldn't be here. Just simply. I hugged her and I said, we've still got a lot of work to do, Mom. She's a very spiritual person. And after that, I just did everything that I had to do. I did my Urban Priestess Mastery program. I even did something I never did in my 20s. In my 20s, I always lived on my own. I even sublet my apartment and started couch surfing. I mean, as I was healing, already over 40, something that I would have been like, my ego would have been like, I don't do that. But I was like, look, I just survived a car accident, a MRSA, a surgery, a heartbreak, money loss. I can do it all. And so that was a really, and I wanted to share that because it's been 7 years now, and I've never looked back. I've been tempted at times, when things get tough, but it was just such an intense thing. And one of the things I realized, I was like, was I that stubborn of a person? Because I was doing work, I was already showing up, I was spiritual, and my guides laugh, and they're like, no, you were good, except that you weren't willing to jump off the cliff and fly. And so in order to fulfill your mission, you really had to kind of let go and just trust you were held. And I remember talking to a psychic at that time who said to me, your wings are larger than you can imagine. And it touched me so much because I didn't have the answers to how I was going to do things. And so that just shifted everything. And so now in my life, no matter what and I've gone through breakups since then. Now I'm in a really wonderful relationship. I'm so happy. It's worth it. Now I'm like, the universe saved the best for last. And I had also, some of us meet our person and we're with them for 80 years. And some of us have a lot of appointments. I feel like I had a really full dance card where I had to meet a lot of past lives and past loves, and we had jobs to do. We had things to help each other with. And now I look at my life, and it's not perfect, right? I'm in joy. I'm with somebody that I love. And no matter how hard it gets and how much I'm like, oh, wow, will my business survive? How can I shift it online? Like, girlfriend, you were in a car with no seatbelt on. You rolled around. There was glass flying. You didn't have any glass on you. You didn't lose your eyes. Sometimes a car hits you the wrong way and the person has back problems for the rest of their life, or they lose an eye or an arm or something. I walked out of there with nothing. So when I think of that, I really feel like surrender. Surrender is at the heart of it all. So thank you for listening and for receiving that. I just want to hug you.
Oh, I want to hug you too. I honestly don't have anything to say to that other than I just love that this space was here for you to share it, because that's a miracle. And
thank you. And I just feel also, when it comes to miracles, I think that modern day world and our manifestation and all these things have so many of us spiritually thinking, like, if it's real, then it's going to happen this way. But when I look at my life, and I was like, would I have wanted my miracle to be becoming a billionaire or something, or having my brother still alive, or having come out of a car? Like, sometimes I wake up in the morning and my feet touch the wooden floor of my house, and I'm like, I can walk. I dance still. Like, I could have not from that car accident. So, and my mom's alive. And so we don't get to choose our miracles.
No.
We get to invite them in. And maybe we don't understand them all, but I think that they come as needed, and they come beyond our ego's need, but to fulfill that soul mission, that soul need.
Thank you so much for adding that. That was perfect. Can I now ask you, curious, what does spirituality look like in your life? How do you weave it through your life and your work?
So for me, spirituality is having a personal relationship, right? It's a personal relationship. That means that it looks different for all of us. And in movies, it's very dramatized, these witches or however spiritual people hearing these words. Some of us hear, some of us feel, some of us know things. Intuition doesn't come in one form. And so for me, it's even just waking up and checking in, like I said, my feet touching that ground, and I'm like, thank you, I have feet. It's that simple. Sometimes I have feet. I am walking. And from there, the way that I think I approach life, right? So I'll give you different rituals and things, but it's this energy of anything can happen in a positive way, right? That they're always miracles. I come up and I have 2 cats who are amazing. I'm like, Xander, Che, my babies. So it's this connection. I have like 17 plants. You know, I live with my partner. He has 2 daughters. It's the waking up with joy, even on a bad day, because we all have one. You're achy, you have a headache. And so it's almost the way that I greet the day. I have another day to live. I am here. And then tending to my babies, tending to myself, trying to eat something healthy. I tend to pray at night. So I have a traditional, even though I'm an initiated priestess and studied shamanism for like 18 years, I tend to pray at night, like the traditional Catholic prayers in Spanish and English. I have an altar, and my office space now where I live is, you know, I have statues of goddesses, I have plants, I have totem animals. I have my walking stick, my talking stick, but on a daily basis, it's gratitude, it's grounding, it's communion with those things that make me happy, and doing what I love. Like, you know, however the struggle may be sometimes with my own business, I had to learn to be a business person or to be an entrepreneur. I'm a healer, right? I'm a community gatherer, and suddenly had to. But the joy of, let's say, getting on a video and connecting, the joy of doing a hypnosis session and guiding somebody through a past life or releasing an entity. And after I'm done with that session, I light sage, I cleanse, or I'll do a tong and sound it out. Or if my body's feeling stuck, I put on some African drums and I'm like, you know, and I start dancing. I also love belly dance. So it's really a lot of moving with the energy that calls.
Yeah.
I don't deny my emotions now. I did when I was younger, which leads to depression for me. I sat like shutting down. If I want to cry, I cry. And I think for a lot of society, you know, if you're crying, something's wrong. I cry from joy. I cry from compassion. I cry from connection. I cry in a commercial.
Me too.
I got emotional the other day coming up to my house and seeing my 2 cats' faces through the window. And then they saw me and put up a paw, and I was like, my babies, you know, it was just like, how tender. I feel like we're soulmates. They're definitely kindred spirits. And so it's kind of that. And, you know, on the funky days, on the days where, I don't know, you know, my mom has been ill recently. I was afraid she was passing. I'm not ready. I was like, I'm not ready, universe, not ready. I know she's going to be okay with this. And so she's still here. But then I do what I know. I light my candle. I call my directions. I call my guides. I ask them to come forward. I say, I don't know what's going to happen. I need you to hold me. I need you to carry me through this. I need you to show me how to heal myself and how to be, because healing sometimes implies doing. Like we have to go to therapy. We have to, how to be through this. You know, I think that in general, sometimes in spirituality, we want to bypass the feelings of sadness and loss, not understanding that that's life. Yeah. And we didn't incarnate to be floating spirits. We incarnated to be in a body that will age, you know, no matter what surgery we do and what supplements we take, that will come to an end in some way, and then we're going to continue. Mm. And so how to move gracefully with this, this experiment I took on, this exploration I took on of incarnation. And coming back, and hot baths are really important to me. Mm. And I would say if anyone, you know, you're very sensitive, if you're very empathic or very sensitive, very emotional, or if you do this work, it's so important to clear every day. Whatever that means. Is it a shower? Is it a dance? Is it singing? And a lot of us know a lot of stuff, quote unquote. We're not using it. We're talking about it. And my guides will straight up tell me, V, you didn't take that bath and you need it. I'm like, okay. And so that's really how it looks like. It's grounding and gratitude and connection, and then doing the things that I know.
I love so many things that you say. I just, there's so much good in there, that this idea that this is such a personal journey, the idea of surrendering, the idea of, you know, how do I experience this experiment? I love how you use the phrase experiment that I've signed up to here as this human being, as this that forgets to do the being part, as you pointed out. And so often we're in the doing. So, just love all of that. And it's so funny you gave, you can tell I'm an emotional person, and I'm a, you know, highly sensitive, empathetic person who cries in commercials with dogs running across the screen with toilet paper. And I cry. It's funny, my kids just this morning, like they actually put on songs sometimes because they know they will make me cry, because they just think it's funny to put on the, you know, and these are songs from Mamma Mia or The Greatest Showman, like everything has got one that will make me cry in it. And then they go, is this happy tears or sad tears, Mum? I'm like, I don't even know. They're just tears that seem to come. Sometimes they're kind of neither. It's just something that wants to come out today. So I love that. I love that. Sorry.
Feeling.
I had that off. Feeling it all. So, as we finish up, and you've touched on a few pieces here anyway, what advice would you have to the spirituality newbie, someone curious to start exploring?
I know it's so exciting to run after all the shiny baubles and all the glitter. We really do have what we need within us. That doesn't mean that we don't go to circles or watch these videos or read great books or get a teacher. It doesn't mean that. But to really trust that you have it within you. And so all we're doing is, you know, a good healer, a good teacher is going to help you release what is not you, not giving you something you don't have, but just creating a space for you to find yourself. And so if you ever feel like someone's, you know, dictating or pushing something on you, or even this whole like spiritual elitism, which I've seen, you know, that's not it. Because that's just taking another human system and putting it onto another, and taking addiction and putting onto another area. And we're really, so go within, feel your feet planted on the ground. If it has to be on your wooden floor, carpeted floor, cement floor, or outside, if you can, allow yourself to come back to you, that we are enough. We are enough. So many of us, I think, because of the history of the planet, we think we have to prove ourselves. I know I have. To what does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be an artist? Or what does it mean to be a good mother? What does it mean to be a good human? And all this pressure we put on ourselves, we don't allow ourselves to receive what's already flowing. So if we can just surrender in love, and as much as we can, and then say, well, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just going to do it. I'm opening up. Give me some help. Just remember to ask for the support, because our angels and our guides, our higher self, which everybody has, you know, in my opinion, are really there. Like, okay, are they going to get it? Are they going to let me in? Are they going to, you know, I feel like they're like, am I going to get in? Am I going to get in? And if we just let go of this mind that says we have to do it a certain way and open up our hearts, we'll find the guidance, you know? And it could be as simple as take a walk, breathe, sing, have a cup of tea. It doesn't have to be like, I have to go to the pyramids and I must, you know, and I must meditate under the full moon in Scorpio. And these are all really dramatic ways in which, you know, people are expressing themselves, which is fabulous. But the truth is, you know, and I say this, and I have tons of crystals on my desk, which I love. But the truth is, if every crystal and every incense and every statue I have here was gone, I'd still be me. And so play with the things on the outside, but know really what you truly need is yourself, your connection to the divine, and then connections with others.
What a beautiful way to sort of complete our conversation. That was such a lovely piece of advice. And I did actually mean to, I like jotted down your point about asking the universe, you know, when you're in those challenging moments, how can I be with this? How can I, you know, be my best self through this painful experience? And I know once you've formed a relationship in times that are less hard, it's easier to feel that in those times when it is hard. So thank you for kind of mentioning that again. Ask for help, let it in. That's so beautiful. Thank you. And for everybody that is loving you and your energy and what you have to share and what you have to say, can you share a bit more about the work you do and how they could connect with you if they want to find out more?
Thank you. So, based on a lot of the stories you heard today, it's really informed my work, where most of the work that I do is to support you in connecting to your intuition and breaking through your fears so you could be yourself and shine, because I believe that's what we're here to do. So, you could find me on vanessacodorniu.com, which is about to go through a little shift. Also, intuitiveleverage.com. And if there are any Spanish speakers, Vanessa Codorniu, rayita.com, en español.com, Vanessa Codorniu en español. And it's really about learning to connect your intuition, letting go of fears. And when you hit that ceiling, you know, a lot of people are like, well, I'm doing a coach, I'm doing this. Hypnosis will go past a lot of the programming, and you can release ancestral fears, soul attachments, past lives. I do that work. And I also have trainings, so intuition trainings, Akashic record, and such. And you'll find that all there. Thank you so much.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us, Vanessa. It's been so amazing to have your wisdom here.
Thank you.
And so everybody, that wraps up our conversation with Vanessa. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had any takeaways, any aha moments, any questions, please pop them below this video. Wherever it is you find it, I'm sure there will be space for questions. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye, thanks.